Hi everyone and welcome back to V's Budgets. For the returning subscribers, then welcome back. And if you're new to the channel, then hi, my name is V and I'm a single mom of one trying to live her best life on a budget. Welcome. I'd love for you to stick around. And if you are interested in this sort of content, why don't you consider subscribing and push and press the button below. Now today is a little bit different. I've been a little bit absent from YouTube over the last week or so because my budget has gone a little cray. I massively have overspent. I had a splurge in Zara and Primark. So I am not going to be closing the month of August as we normally would know. Instead, what I thought we would do is I would actually show you how I really budget. Now, this is a one-off. I do not intend to be showcasing this way of budgeting moving forward, but I thought it'd be quite interesting for you all to just see what goes on behind the scenes. So basically today it's a what goes on behind the scenes on V Budgets. And I'm going to be sharing with you my Excel, how I really track my expenses and sort of how it all looks like. Now, I have already filmed this and it is about an hour long. So what I am probably going to be doing is I'm going to be splitting this video in two parts. The first part is going to be how I budget, and then the second part is going to be how I actually stuff. How I'm going to be stuffing for week 1 of September with you utilizing that sheet. I am planning to return to the paper format moving forward, so don't get used to it too much. But I thought it would be quite a fun thing to do. I do apologize. I recorded this using my laptop and a headset, so the voice is a little bit muffled. It's not too muffled, but it's a little bit different than what you're normally used to. Spoiler alert, on my second video, I will be announcing the giveaway winner and I am super excited for that. So stay tuned. And without further ado, and as per usual, let's get into it.
Okay guys, so basically this is what I use. I budget in Excel. I create an Excel sheet for every month, and I am going to talk you through how I plan all of my income months in advance. As you can see here, we have got August right up to February. So I'm going to be showing you September as an example, just because it's basically like a budget with me for September, but I'm going to show you how I use my Excel to help you do it. Now, I'm not showing this, as I said in the intro, because this is how I'm going to be doing it moving forward. I'm just purely showing it because I've had a few people asking me whether I actually do use the sheets, because I think a lot of people have realized that surely can't be it, which it isn't. So I just want to run through what I use and how I use it. So this is an evolution, by the way. Like, it took me years to get here. I will show you, I have got months and months previous to this sheet, and some are not even hidden, but we're going to use September anyway. We're going to use September. I mean, even if we look at March, is not quite the same, right? Yeah, so it took me a while to get to this. Anyway, so what I have, first of all, is basically I'll start with this. So my balance carried over will always be, or should always be, £10,000, which is made up of my 3 months expenses, should anything happen, and my £1,000 emergency fund. And then anything on top will be my salary. So my balance carried over will be 10,000. My salary for September is actually a little bit more than I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be 3,519. It's 3,537.90. So together the account balance is 13,537.90. Obviously, we're not going to be touching the 3 months expenses. We're not going to be touching the emergency fund. So that leaves me with 3,537.90. Now, some of you may be wondering why I have that amount of money in my current account. It's because the interest rates have been so bad that unless I locked the money away for a substantial amount of time, the interest is not being great. So I have not moved it yet. I will be moving that £9,000 somewhere else really soon, and I will only be having that £1,000 buffer in my account. But for the moment, I haven't. So that will give us basically the my salary to be playing with, which is the £3,537.90. Then what we've got here is my available balance after all of my expenses, which are on this part of the sheet, which I will run through a moment. So basically, this is telling me that if I take my income minus the total of my expenses, I should have £60.41 left for that month. This also shows me how much I'm going to be having in savings. As you can see here, I have got £50 going onto my savings account. I had 400 and showing you August here. I had 475 in August plus the £50 that I'll be putting in September. That will be 525, which means that the total savings using the £60 plus the 525 by the end of the month should be 585.41. So this is what we have got. Now let's have a look at the actual expenses. So we have got my mortgage. We have got my Monzo monthly transfer. That's actually all of my pots. I'll get to that in a second, but on how I break them down. But for the purpose of this, I know that it's going to be 1,715 that will need to come out of my salary for my sinking funds and my spending pots. I have £50 going into savings because I have that every month as a minimum. I have £10.99 on Netflix. Thames Water's £27. Clara also gets £50 on savings. I have £52.32 on life insurance. I have a last payment of Direct Line pet insurance for this because I have then moved provider. That will not kick in until October or November even, because I think the first 2 months were free. Apple storage, £2.49. Vince's treatment is £4. That's a fleeing treatment. Amazon Kids, £3.99. I have discussed before that I am looking to move this probably into my annual pots, but I'm not moving it just yet. Sky is my internet and is £30. Car finance is £68.71. Octopus is obviously my gas and electric is £180. I've been paying £180 a month throughout the spring, summer, so council tax is 123. My Santander account fee, basically my Santander is my account. It's the 123 account, so I get cash back on certain bills. So yeah, if I basically move some of the bills over into that account at the beginning of the month, and then I get some cash back. I do let the cash back accumulate so that if I have some unexpected rise in bills, so for example, last month my phone bill was £20 instead of £10 because I had to up my data, then at least I've got some money in there. TV license. Oh, what's happened here? Oh, apologies, guys. TV license is 13.25, and then Clara Childcare. Now, technically, this does not have a date as such. What I am calculating is 1,900 per year, and that is £33 times 37.5 weeks, plus £400 for summer camps, plus £70 for school fees, and 190 for school and uniform. Clara's dad helps out with the school and uniform, so I don't have to put the £300 that I normally would do. And also, I think the big expense for me in regards to like the school bag and the PE bag and the hats and whatever, I mean, I'm hoping that I don't have to do it every year. So yeah, so I'm hoping that this will be enough, at least for the main bits, and then her dad can help me for the rest. But I'll get to that because that's technically a sinking fund. This is just here because I know that technically I'm going to have to pay for her after school club. but I haven't received the invoice yet. So once I do, I will put it here. Obviously, that money will come from my sinking funds. So the balance will increase because that will come in from there. And how I've done it is, I'll explain to you in just a second. Sorry if this is a bit over the place, but there's different parts of on the sheet that are relevant, but I'll get back to this in just a moment. And then I've got £10 for, oh, this whole thing is just skewed because I moved. I had the Amazon Kids right at the end, but it was due on the 8th. So I was like, oh, I'm gonna have to move it at the top, but I've done something and then it's skewed all my notes. Anyway, sorry about that. So £10 for my mobile phones. Cleaner, I know she comes on the 5th and 19th. This is here because it helps me when I plan in advance, like for example here, it helps me calculate how much I need to put into my spending pots each year. So you see I put all of the days here. So I know that this month she's going to be coming on the 5th and the 19th, which means that I need to get £80 for her. Then I've got credit card, how much I'm going to be putting on the credit card for the month, and then I've got my £30 buffer. So that in total comes to £3,477.49. Now, so if we have a look at the credit card, so you can see here, my credit card balance at the beginning of the month was £483.71. I have made already a £250 payment for September, which means that now my balance going into October will be £233.71. You can see here I've planned to put £100 in October, which will take the balance to £133.71, and then make a final November payment for £133.71 to get me back down to zero. So that is the plan for the credit card. As you can see here, we've got the £250 payment. And then I wanted to show you for the childcare. Now, I've done some school fees calculations because you can see here I've calculated it is 37.5 weeks per term. I have gone online and calculated how many sessions are for the term. So you see you've got autumn 1, autumn 2, spring 1, spring 2, summer 1, summer 2. So I've got 12 lessons as autumn 1. So if we do £16.50, which is basically how much it is per day, you can see here it says £33, that's per week, right? So it's £16.50 per day for the after school club. We multiply that for the 12 session, it's £198 for autumn 1. Now I obviously pay into the childcare account, so I've calculated with a formula 20% discount, which is £40, which then makes cost minus the discount, the total to pay. So I know that I need £158 available to pay. So that normally would have been 1,238 the cost, but with the childcare account it comes to 990. Now bear in mind all these calculations here don't include the discount. Sorry guys, I'm wearing a headset if you hear some weird noises, or if I sound slightly different. I haven't done it based exactly like without the discount, and the reason why I've done that is to just give myself a little bit of a buffer if I need to buy extra things for Clara, like water bottles, or I'll have to buy school shoes like throughout the year. So I wanted to have like a couple of £100 spare. I say spare, but buffer within that school sinking fund. So that is how my calculations have been now. I actually have some money left in my childcare account from the nursery. I think I have about £30 left, so I probably won't even have to put the £158 in there. But there you go. So that's what that is. And then basically what happens is when I pay money into my other accounts. So for example, my mortgage, my Thames Water, my Sky, Octopus bill, council tax, Santander, TV license, and my mobile phone. Actually, not my TV license. The rest Yes. Now they go into the Santander account. So at the beginning of each month, I move this money to a different account. And as you can see here, as I'm putting the money in, can you see here, the total for this column stays the same, but this amount is starting to be less, right? So the balance is lower and lower. So it does that for me. So that money is gone, right? Because I'm filming this on the 4th of September. So that money has gone out. I put this in orange at the beginning of the month to make sure that I then remember to check the bills and make sure that they are the amount that it says that they are. And then once I check the bills are done and gone, then I change them into a green. Now I know that these bills have already gone apart from this is gone. So the only ones left are my council tax, my Santander, and my mobile phone. They are not gone yet. Next, savings account. I've already transferred it over, so that's done. Netflix has already been paid, so that's done. I have already transferred £50 into Clara's account. And then for my bills, life insurance, direct line, Apple storage, that's all gone. So 52.32, 25.25, and 2.49. Vince's treatment hasn't gone out yet. Amazon Kids hasn't gone out yet. Car finance has not gone out, and the TV license has not gone out. So what I have paid is also the credit card. So that's 250. Actually, the TV license has gone out. So that 1325 has gone out. I think I had asked for it to be moved to the first of the month, and it never did. And now magically it is now on the first of the month. I'm not really sure. So let's look at what we've got left to pay. So my pots, obviously nothing has gone yet because I haven't done any stuffings. Vince's flea treatment and my Amazon Kids, my car finance, and I always keep a buffer. Now, I am not so pleased to say that unfortunately I have already used my buffer for this month. I went on a wild spree, guys. I'm not even gonna lie. It's not good, okay? It's not good. So basically what that means is that this balance is actually, as it stands, this. So this is what I change, right? So this is what is exactly my account right now, right this second, 11,791.73. Now, I know that I will never going to touch this and I'm never going to touch this, which means that if I subtract that 1,791.73 that I've got left with what I've actually got left to pay for this month, I am left with 3 pence. Now remember, I had 60 odd pounds here. Yeah, I completely overspent. I went to Zara, I went to Primark, I bought myself some new stuff. It's not been good. Luckily, I didn't use my credit card, but yeah, massively overspent. However, it's done. I can't take it back. And this is where we are. So on the 4th of September, this is where we are. Now, up until now, what this had done is this was technically the last week of August, right? So all it had was my bill. My first week of September starts tomorrow, which is the 5th. And let me show you how that works. So we move down the sheet. And as you can see, we've got my sinking funds and my spending. For those that are new, these are my sinking funds. I've got annual payments, home insurance / home emergency, car insurance, car maintenance, Clara activity, that is basically what we do on a monthly, either swimming, she's on the wait list for gymnastics still. So yeah, Clara party is maybe not a party for her birthday, could be whatever we do for her birthday activity. Gifts, Christmas, holidays, medical, school, which is the 1,900 that I said about childcare, the uniform, the camp, and the fees. And then Vinny, that's my cat. So this is how it works. This is how much I want to put away each year for my sinking funds. Just to give you an idea, let's do this. Let's just add it all up just to prove how much we've actually, oh, silly me. I said total. I mean the sum. So I know that I have got £8,620 that I need to put away for each of these categories. So what I do is I essentially take the amount and divide it by 12 months. So as you can see here, for most of the categories, apart from a couple, that is exactly how it works until we get to school. And then I divided this amount for the 10 months because the 37.5 are technically 10 months. So I need to be able to have all of that money put away within the 10 months. Now, I'm still going to be stuffing £190. However, that £190 for the 2 months of the year that I am not technically using it for the school, that money will be redirected to family activity. So it'll be the money that I use for the summer holidays. So that will give me £380 to take her places or put towards the holiday, or, it's just a nice little bit of money to have. The other thing that is not quite like that is Vinny. Now you can see here £120, it should be obviously £10 a month, but you can see here on my week 1, week 2, week 3 that I'm putting away a lot more money, right? In fact, I'm putting away £60. So you can see here that's my week 1 amounts, my week 2 amounts, my week 3 amounts, and most of it, they match, right, the monthly split. You see 50 here, 50 there, 100 here, 100 there. So basically what I do is I tend to split over the 4 or 5 weeks how much this would be. The only difference is this category. And the reason why this category is different is because, as I always say, I'm trying to put money away for Vince to have a scale and polish. So I'm trying to overpay into this account to see if we can, by the end of the year, it may now be the beginning of next year, we can get him to the vets to have a scale and polish. So what does this tell me? It tells me that on a monthly basis, as a minimum, I should have £750 going into my hyperjar pots. My hyperjar pots are my sinking funds. And here it actually tells me the total of what I'm putting on week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4 exactly. And that tells me that this month I'm actually putting an extra £50 because I'm putting £800, and I know that that £50 is in the Vinny pot. What this also tells me is it tells me how much money I put as a total for each of the pot for each of the weeks. So this obviously comes to £205. This comes to £200. This comes to £200. And week 4, all of the pots come to £195. So that is simply how I do it. This is how I calculate my sinking funds. Now, at the end of each month, I calculate how much money is left in my pots, right? So as you can see here, this was my starting point at the end of July. And this is where we are at the end of August. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this, and I am going to be pasting that over. And obviously these calculations are going to be rather inaccurate because I don't have anything on the remaining yet. So all of these will go in red just to remind me that no, it's not actually that, but I don't want to change the formula. So basically, I know how much I'm starting in all of these funds with, and then when we close September, I will go and put in how much I've got remaining, and it will tell me exactly what it is. So when I do the sheets, that is what I look at in terms of, like, I fill it out. That's why I do it so quickly. And then, so that is the sinking funds. And then I have got my spending. Now, my spending is slightly different, but similar. So you can see here the way that I've calculated things is simply I know how much I'm going to be putting into my weekly for everything. And this is a rough estimate of how much per year I will need. So let's do the same. I've never done this, but I know that my spending pots, I will need £12,530, right? And that will be my spending money, date night, Vinny's weekly food, my beauty, family time, home, Clara, miscellaneous clothes, fuel, my groceries, my household, my cleaner, and my transport. And this is pretty much then what the weekly amount is. I know that I'm going to be giving myself £30 each week. I know that I want to be putting about £15 per week on date night, £10 on Vinny's food, £20 on beauty, £10 on family time, £10 on home, £10 on Clara, £5 on miscellaneous every week, £10 on clothes. Fuel is slightly different. I technically originally was meant to be about £20 per week. Now, because Clara's starting school and I don't need to get in the car every day because the school's at the end of the road, this doesn't quite match, and I'm not really sure how to make it match because I don't put fuel weekly, and it will be silly for me to do it because I don't really want to be going and putting £10 per week. So I kind of divided it. I do every other week, and I either do £30 or £20 depending on how I see fit, but in and around it'll be about £50 per month that I would presume I would need on fuel. So this is a little bit weird the way that this is because technically that's not what I have got. But yeah, groceries is about £50 per week. But you can see here it's slightly different. The reason why that is because I've already paid for Green Chef for at the end of August, and it came out before I did my first week cash stuffing. So I paid for the box, and what I've got left is £35 to buy some breakfast and lunch stuff, essentially, and some bits for Clara's dinner. Bear in mind that this is only half. So my partner pays for the other half because he also eats breakfast, lunch, dinner with me, if that makes sense, apart from maybe like one day of the week. £10 in household. Again, this is a little bit different. In an ideal world, I'd like to put £10 in here. I'm not quite there yet because I'm still paying for my credit card, but in an ideal world, yes, I would want £10. So I tend to put £10 one or 2 weeks of the month, and then I do £5 for the moment. Cleaner, again, £20 per week-ish. But actually I pay her at the beginning of the month, and she only comes every other week. So again, this is a little bit weird. I can put them in red if these are a little bit confusing. And then finally, transport, it is £30 a week. The only reason why there isn't one on week one is because I'm actually not going into the office this coming week because Clara's starting school and the settling in week. Basically, she only goes in a couple of hours here and there, so I can't be traveling into central London. So that similarly tells me how much I'm putting into the pots at the end of the 4 weeks. It tells me how much in the pots. So here I know it's £275 on week 1 for my spending pots, 205 for week 2, 230 for week 3, and 205 for week 4. And then the total here is simply how much I need for each week. So you know when I say, oh, I'm going to stuff £480, well, that is actually the £205 from my sinking funds and the 275 from my spending pot. So it's just easier for me to just see how much. And this is the total for, this is the total for the pots, spending pots for the month, and this is the total for all of the pots, my sinking funds and my spending pots for the month, which is 1,715, which of course is the same over here. Now, each week I will then add here how much I need.